The canyon walls loomed like jagged teeth around Jack Harlan as he steered his freight wagon through Rattlesnake Gulch that crisp October morning in 1882. At 50 years old, scarred by the Civil War and endless bottles of cheap bourbon, he was hauling ammunition and bandages to Fort Stockton in the heart of Texas frontier country, a land where bounties of $600 dangled over every Comanche scalp, man or woman. That's when he spotted her, slumped against a fallen pony, blood staining her deerskin dress that hugged forms no fighter should have. Her dark hair cascaded over sun-kissed shoulders, her breath ragged and faint. Stunning, lethal Comanche. Every gut instinct yelled to ride on. In Texas territory, aiding a Comanche meant a noose or a gut shot from your own kind. The papers branded them barbarians. The cavalry hunted them like vermin. But her vulnerability hit him like a gut punch, echoing memories of his daughter Lily, buried 3 years back from scarlet fever. Jack's fingers twitched on his Winchester. One path led to damnation, the other to self-destruction. What does a shattered soul do when compassion could cost everything? Her name was Ayanna, meaning eternal bloom in the Comanche tongue, 22 years fierce, schooled by her father Cale in marksmanship sharper than any man's, tracking silent as a shadow, and striking without mercy when backed into a corner. But sprawled there with a ranger's bullet lodged in her arm, she seemed as breakable as dry grass. Jack slid off his wagon, boots scraping gravel, each step sealing his fate. The wise move: strip her gear, collect the reward, drown the guilt in rock gut. Instead, he dropped to one knee, pulse racing as he probed her neck steady, hot with infection. "Easy there," he muttered, fumbling for laudanum from his kit. Her eyes flew open, black as coal, piercing like arrowheads. In a blur, her hand seized a blade from her belt, pressing it to his jugular. Pale-faced devil, she snarled in broken English, grip faltering from blood loss, her defiance crumbling under exhaustion. "I'm no threat," Jack replied in halting Comanche, palms up. "You're hit bad. Let me fix it." She scanned his weathered face, hunting for deceit, the brutality she'd known from settlers like him. What met her gaze was raw sorrow etched in his lines, a man haunted. The knife dipped. "Why?" she demanded, voice raw but unyielding. "Because you look like my girl. Because I've lost everything worth fighting for. Because maybe one good deed tips the scales on all my failures. Because it's decent." Time stretched like a taut rope rangers could crest the ridge any second, turning this mercy into mutiny against his race. At last, Ayanna relented. Jack moved fast, war surgeon skills kicking in. Laudanum to dull the edge, ripped shirt sleeves for bandages. Her dress tore at the shoulder, exposing golden skin, bruised violet. She was a force of nature, wild and unyielding like a prairie storm. "You need a real doc," he said, nodding to Rap. "No," she shot back, steel in her tone despite the haze. "Take me to my father." Cale Every Texan knew that name. The war chief of the last unbound Comanche clan, a phantom evading posses for years. The man whose kin Jack was now mending like family. That's 50 miles through ranger-infested badlands, hunting your kind. Then move quickly. She pushed upright, teeth gritted against agony. "Help, or I'll scream you assaulted a Comanche woman. See how that flies in Austin." The bluff lingered like gunpowder, in a land scarred by raids, leaving ranches torched and kin slaughtered. It'd get him lynched quick. But staring into her unbowed eyes, Jack felt a spark ignite purpose beyond the flask's void since his wife Clara and Lily passed. A squall brewed on the horizon. Storms rolling in. "We go dark, high daylight. You follow my lead." "I'm no fragile settler wife," she retorted. "No, you're a Comanche fighter with a slug in your arm, riding with the foe in killer country. So heed the foe keeping you breathing." A glint of reluctant admiration crossed her face as thunder growled, rain pelting down. Jack hoisted her into the wagon amid crates of bullets and salves. She nestled in, turning his routine haul into a suicide pact. Name, Paleface? She asked as he cracked the reins. Jack Harlan, ex-Confederate sergeant, father to a girl who'd be 10 now, widower, drunk, idiot. Ayanna, she echoed, tasting the word. Daughter of Cale, warrior of the Nemo. Smart not to trust me. Trust kills out here. As the wagon lurched into Comanche lands, neither grasped the odyssey ahead, testing loyalties, dignity, and mercy's toll. Rain erased tracks, but peril stalked like a coyote. The first ranger posse picked up their scent at daybreak. They'd pushed 14 hours, wheels slogging mud, Ayanna fading in and out of delirium. Awake, she eyed him like prey, etching his features for betrayal. 24 riders, Jack hissed, spotting dust plumes a mile off. Ayanna rose weakly, rifle firm despite pallor. Laudanum waned. Pain carved her features. They hunt. Not yet storm hit us. He veered off-trail to crimson boulders like shattered fangs, ditching the wagon in a tight ravine. Essentials only, water, ammo meds. He boosted her onto his horse, her form warm against his back as they plunged into stone labyrinths. She slipped twice. His arms steadied her, hands brushing her hips longer than needed. Tell of your daughter, she murmured lucidly, voice a thread. The query jarred him. Why? Men who speak of kids, less likely to harm. Lily, auburn curls like Clara's, her giggle, his bullheadedness. Gone at 7 to the fever that claimed his wife. Grays he avoided till liquor blurred the path. She loved Yarn's cowboys, outlaws, heroines who fought back. Comanche young here of eagle and wolf. Women riders fierce as thunder. A bridge formed. Loss universal, skin be damned. Fever gripped her that night. She raved in Comanche, crying for her mother. In a rock alcove, rain sheeting down, Jack cradled her, humming Lily's old tune against storms. Her tremors eased. For the first time since the graves, he mattered. The second posse cornered them at dawn, bluecoats threading the gorge below while they flattened on a ledge 50 feet up. Ayanna, fever broken but drained, instincts razor sharp. Her fingers laced his when a lieutenant barked, fresh print sours old at most. They froze 2 hours post-passage before descending. Sharing the final canteen, why risk it? The query he dodged. Tired of wrong sides. Which side? The one bounty-hunting woman? Labeling us monsters while grabbing our planes. Slaying our babes? Her bark was sharp. Fine talk from a graycoat. Fought for states' rights, not genocide. But I followed orders to raise camps, the dead eyes. Truth stung. He'd enabled horrors haunting his nights. Yes, he owned it. Burden till I drop. She traced his Gettysburg scar. Here you learned war's hate. Among spots. Good. War lovers make lousy partners. Partners? Weighty as they forged into Comanche heartland, toward Cale's reckoning that might end with Jack's hide staked out. The Comanche camp materialized amid ochre bluffs. 9 teepees circling a concealed spring, smoke wispy to evade eyes. 13 survivors of Cale's fated horde. Hoka! Ayanna whispered, greeting as warriors materialized, carbines locked on Jack. Lean, battle-hardened men gaze icily. Leading, Cale, 54, gray-streaked hair, aura of a chief who'd bartered peace till betrayal scorched it. Daughter, Cale embraced her, eyes drilling Jack. His English clip learned. A pale face at our hearth? Explain. He mended me, guided home over bounty. What prize, pale face? Jack, none. She needed aid. Done. A young buck, 19, scars like warm maps, sneered. Lies all settlers lie. Quiet, Tano, Cale snapped. He probed Jack. You know me, Cale? Ghost chief of the Nemo. $6,000 on my head. Know it. Yet here, armed, outgunned, no exit promise. Cale, why? Your girl's got your fire, her ma's grit. Couldn't save mine, but maybe yours. Mercy makes us human. Sick of history's villains. Ayanna flanked her father. Truth, father. He passed betrayal chances. Tano scoffed. What A from one settler? Jack spilled. Ranger shifts from his runs. Fort Stockton's flaws intel, tipping survival. Silence fell. This was a strategy from a foe who thought like brass. Freely, Cale queried. Freely, you battle for home, kin, and ways. I get that. Cale eyed him. Betrayal means court-martial. Nothing to lose. Cale conferred in Comanche, debates flaring. Ayanna advocated hotly. Silence decree. 21 days to Mexico line, Rangers swarming. Weak elders, few fighters. Every edge counts. To Jack, guide us south, your kin. Sell us. I'll carve your tongue. Deal. Night, cloak camp. Jack joined the ragged kin of Texas's last free Comanche. Around flames, kids plotted war instead of play. Women tallied rounds over gardens. Dawn brought the deadliest trek. Tonight, Jack had dawn's worth. The Ranger ambush lurked in Ghost Wash, Canyon Dead opposite Jackson Tell. 25 troops primed, barrels gleaming dawn. A massacre if Comanche row blind. Jack hunkered behind scrub, could bolt, let fate call while he fled borderward. Instead, Lily's echo, Ayanna's faith, and the young one spurred him. He burst cover, bellowing Comanche warning, echoing the walls. A slug slammed his ribs. He crumpled, scrambling to a log as lead hailed. Behind Cale's yell, hooves thundering Comanche scattered, trap foiled. They'd reach Mexico. But Jack Harlan bled out in Texas dirt, alone save ghosts. Peace, Ayanna breathed, finding him palm soft on his cheek. You spared us. Did I spare Lily? Words faint. Yes, she whispered kindly. She's beaming. They interred him dusk per Comanche rite, carbine beside, spirit loosed. Cale chanted warrior dirges. Ayanna laid prairie blooms on the mound of the settler, who picked grace over greed. 25 years on, at the Oklahoma Territory Reservation, an aged Comanche elder spun the yarn to grandkids of the wagon man, who grasped mercy bridge divides, valor in salvation, and true fighters lift others. In death, Jack Harlan reclaimed his daughter in every spared life. Lily's joy in free Comanche voices thanks to one ruined man's shift from hate to heart. What do you think, was Jack's sacrifice worth it? Or should he have walked away? Drop your take in the comments below. Stand your ground and share your views on mercy versus survival in tough times.